Sleep Hygiene 101. How do we sleep? Am I getting enough sleep? Why am I having trouble sleeping? And what can I do to get back on track? In this video, we're going to address some of the big questions right out of the gate. First and foremost, sleep is a universal commodity. We all need it, although how much sleep we need may change over the course of our lifetimes. Let's talk about the importance of healthy sleep. How many hours do you sleep each night? Do you tend to fall asleep and wake up around the same time each day? Think about your overall sleep patterns. Do you feel well rested? 40 years ago, the average person slept about 7.5 hours per night. Today, that average has decreased to about 6.5 hours each night, which would be like falling asleep at 10:30 and waking up at 5 the next morning. I don't know about you, but that doesn't quite feel like enough sleep for me. But what do we actually need when it comes to healthy sleep? Researchers say adults need between 7 and 9 hours of sleep per night, while children and adolescents need 8 to 12 hours per night to promote healthy growth. But more importantly, that means the sleep we need changes throughout the different stages of our life. Do you feel like you need less sleep than that? Well, while you may be able to physically operate on less, having regular sleep deprivation leads to signs of reduced skill or impairment of motor skills. That is true in everyone, no exceptions. For years, I was the person that believed they could easily operate on less sleep. For most of my adult life, I would operate on no more than 5 hours of sleep during the weekdays. I would use the weekends to catch up on sleep, but the truth is, you can't pay it forward. Sleep deprivation can lead to chronic fatigue, which impacts your immune functioning, your hormonal releases, and your ability to react and think clearly. No matter how alert you think you may be when you're sleep deprived, your brain still functions with impairments. Brain graphics have shown us the chemical changes going on when we're sleep deprived. The impacts are indisputable. When it comes to teenagers, the vast majority of teens average about 6 hours of sleep each night. At a stage when a person is already experiencing so much growth and change, having that added fatigue can have a disastrous impact on behavior. In the sleep process, people generally experience problems with falling asleep and staying asleep. Falling asleep can be difficult for those who have suppressed melatonin output. This can come from stress, increased light exposure, electronic use, certain medications, caffeine, anxiety or depression, or poor sleep hygiene, among other factors. Falling asleep is only part of the process. What about if you have trouble staying asleep? There are a number of factors that may be impacting a person's ability to stay asleep. The first question I would ask is, do you snore? People tend to snore more often if they have consumed alcohol or have sinus issues. Snoring can contribute to poor sleep quality because it causes the individual to move back and forth from deep sleep to light sleep. You'll learn more about these stages of sleep in our next video, but losing time in deep sleep can really influence your overall sleep hygiene. Another reason you may have trouble staying asleep is if you experience sleep apnea. Sleep apnea is when a person is sleeping and their breathing stops and starts, rather than continuing at a regular pace. When the breath stops and disrupts the sleep cycle, it can prevent that person from achieving that third cycle of sleep, which is the deep sleep phase. The upper airway actually can be blocked, which increases fatigue and stress and reduces immune function. Sleep apnea is caused by the shape and position of the neck, jaw, shoulder, and the arm, which can cause obstructions in the airway. Sleep apnea tends to be more pronounced in cases of obesity, impacting more than 22 million Americans. In addition, the pineal gland needs to be functioning properly for someone to be able to stay asleep. The pineal gland determines when melatonin needs to be created and released within the body. If the pineal gland is not functioning properly, it can be challenging for the body to determine night from day and produce melatonin correctly. Pineal gland concerns can be difficult to identify and address because the pineal gland is located in the center of the head. If this is a concern, consult your doctor to explore your options. By first understanding the basics of sleep hygiene and how our body naturally regulates itself when in the resting stage, you will have a better understanding of how your body moves through each stage of the sleep cycles and how we can begin to implement little changes that will result in better sleep habits. In our next video, we will go over each stage of the sleep cycle and how they all tie together. If you have any questions about the material covered in this lesson, please feel free to leave a comment in the chat below or reach out to us directly at support@coremethods.com. See you in the next video.